Love and light will never heal your nervous system. In this video, I want to talk you through a phenomenon that I encountered in my one-on-one practice countless times. What if your attempts to meditate, what if all the plant medicine journeys, what if all the new age spiritual things you're doing to heal are actually an expression of a wound? What if your body never learned that it's safe to be on Earth and that's why it's escaping the planet through fourth dimension meditations, through plant medicine journeys, through talking with the gods, or through simply sitting on your meditation cushion? Fundamentally, the origins of spiritual bypassing are a childhood that wasn't safe. Maybe as a child you had certain feelings, for example, anger, that we're not allowed to express. And what is a child doing when an emotion, a feeling, or a thought is not allowed to be expressed? It's pushing it down. It's acting like it's not here. And maybe in my words you can already hear a very subtle resemblance. I'm not really here. I'm not real. My ego needs to die. What if your attempts to meditate away your ego? What if your repression of your ego? What if your defenses against your ego? What if the part that you is saying ego equals bad is actually a part that is representing that trauma from childhood? What if your attempts to find inner peace are actually an attempt to avoid a pain that needs to be felt in order to be processed? What if your meditations are actually emotional numbing? Emotional numbing of a pain that you weren't allowed to experience, that you weren't allowed to express throughout your life. And now it gets interesting, because if you assume that certain emotions are not allowed, then you replace it with a thought pattern and a belief system that makes sure that these emotions are not surfacing and are embedded in a sort of negative light. What I'm talking about is the low frequency emotions: anger, sadness, guilt, shame, all of these things that we don't really want to feel when we're sitting like in a, high vibe dance circle or whatever. You're suppressing them. And these emotions are not present, and what takes the place of these emotions is a high vibe persona. It's the person that mistakes healing for being happy all the time, for being like centered in this blissful feeling that I am not here, I am nothingness, we're all connected, and actually I'm no one. No, I don't feel sadness. I'm just here for the good vibes. I'm just here to transcend into higher realms. I'm not a human being. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Like, if that makes you happy, then okay. And there's like a genuine point to, for example, saying that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. That is good. That is okay. I'm pointing towards a pattern that I observe over and over again, and that could be potentially very, very harmful. So love and light will not heal your nervous system. Because wherever you put light on, you automatically create a shadow. And the bigger the light, the bigger the shadow. And if there's parts of you that don't want to see the shadow because they categorize it as bad, as unspiritual, they cannot accept that, these parts will be pushed away even further. And the thing is, these parts are not disappearing. How many times have you encountered like a person that is claiming to be spiritual? How many gurus are out there that are like deeply narcissistic and disconnected from themselves, disconnected from their depth, from their shadow? Carl Jung once said that no tree can grow towards heaven if its roots are not reaching down to hell. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Spirituality is a brutal business. If we're all connected, if we're truly all connected, and if you were to really believe that, then that means the person that is abusing his wife somewhere is also connected with you. The people who are doing genocides all over the world, they are also connected to you. I'm here to point towards a certain phenomenon and to take the little needle and to burst a certain bubble that is ultimately harmful. Spiritual bypassing, spiritual addiction. Like, how many times have you witnessed yourself or witnessed someone else chasing retreats, for example, chasing the next self-help book, chasing the next grandiose meditation or the next way to transcend their emotions? Like, I'm seeing this in, I don't know, for example, people who have gone to Joe Dispenza retreats 10 times and they go there and it's like super high energy, and it's focused all on like manifesting your dream life and all of this. I'm convinced that you cannot manifest your dream life, that you cannot acquire a high frequency if you're not looking at your own darkness. You're gaslighting yourself. And you're using spirituality as a tool to do that. And it's not healthy. It's costing you. It's costing you your truth. It's like butter spread very thin on a piece of bread. It doesn't have any weight. It doesn't have any character to live this way. Why? Because you're cutting off a part of your experience. And again, maybe this part that you're cutting off is connecting you to a deeper spirituality than transcending into the light ever could. Because I believe that in your pain is everything that you need in order to transform. I believe the pain is already the medicine. I believe that courageously feeling our emotions, especially the tensions and the feelings that we cannot accept, is the most spiritual thing we can do. Because suffering is a part of life. Life is suffering. Like, Jesus died on the cross, even like if you look at the spiritual traditions, suffering played an integral role in all of them, and it always had to do with some sort of enlightenment, with some sort of transcendent experience, like a peak experience. And I'm convinced that you cannot reach that if you're not ready to look at what you're suppressing. And I even think it's dangerous, because that persona that you're building, that spiritual persona that believes that everything is love and light and that we're all connected and all of these things, I think it's dissociated. I think it's not truly embodied. Because again, if we look at the origins of this pattern in childhood, Earth was never safe. And because Earth was never safe, what are you doing then? You're dissociating. You're dissociating from your body, because your body is the vessel that physically, through your senses, is connecting you with reality. And if reality is so hard to bear, if existence is so hard to bear, to experience, then you do everything to leave that experience. And this is also what meditation is, or can be. Meditation can be a tool for growth, but it can become destructive if it's a means of dissociation. I'm not recommending you to kill your ego. Why? First of all, your ego will be with you, like, probably for all your life. There will never be a moment where you're free of your ego. It's a great tool. And beyond that, even the part of you that wants to kill your ego, get rid of your ego, is your ego speaking. Like, really feel that. If you're saying, my ego is bad, this is like a thought pattern that I had, these are attachments that I had, maybe you are attached to letting go of your ego. How about that? Because if you say, I need to let go of my ego, you're already trying to get somewhere. And the essence of meditation is to not get somewhere. It's to deepen the relationship you have with you. And maybe you can very subtly feel, if I say my ego is harmful, my ego is bad, it's like the origin of all the bad things in the world, which to some degree these are true, but maybe you can hear the energy behind these words. There's like a certain hostility towards the ego. There's a hostility towards the low vibes. Oh no, she has like such low vibrations. Oh no, I don't like that music. It has low vibration, and I don't watch the news because they're low vibration. If you don't watch the news, I get it. I get it. Like, you don't need to expose yourself to things that are harmful and like bad for you. And, I want you to have a good day. But if you're cutting off a part of reality because you think that it's not serving your highest frequency, what you're still doing is cutting off a part of reality. You're displaying a certain feeling of hostility or resistance towards reality. And I'm here to tell you that this is your ego speaking. The best question you can ask on your psychospiritual journey is always asking, who is speaking? Who is thinking? Who is at power in these moments? And if there's a part of you that wants to get rid of your ego, that wants to get rid of your anger, that wants to get rid of your sadness because these are quote unquote low vibrations, are you really compassionate? Are you really accepting? Are you really a being of light in that moment? Or are you subconsciously acting in a way that is resembling everything that you are rejecting in the outside world? Maybe you're angry at your anger. Maybe you have resistance towards your sadness. Maybe the need to get rid of the ego is pretty low vibe overall. Maybe if you're a man and you're like, yeah, I'm just love and light, maybe you're castrating yourself from a healthy aggression, from a healthy masculinity. These things matter. They are part of you. And something is restaging here. Because maybe as a child, you were treated in exactly the same way. You were sad, you were angry. And somebody from the outside, a caretaker, a parent, or maybe a friend told you, it's not okay to feel that. Go into your room, cry alone. And there's a chance that you are treating yourself in the exact same way. There's sadness coming up, there's anger coming up, and you're like, no, you're not really angry, you're just projecting. You're gaslighting yourself. You're putting yourself up into the room that maybe you've been put in when you were a child. You're exiling your parts that desperately want to be met, that want to be experienced, that want your witnessing present. And if there's anything that I learned about spirituality in like my over 10 years on this journey, then it is that it's all about witnessing. It's all about you being present. It's all about allowing. It's all about making the spectrum of our experience bigger. It's about inviting more parts of ourselves in. It's about inviting in the anger. It's about inviting in the disgust, the arrogance even, the hatred, even towards ourselves. Can you allow yourself, can you witness? Can you notice the moment where you are in this hostile mode against yourself, where you're like, oh yeah, actually I'm quite negative towards my negativity right now. And I'm like clothing that negativity and that hatred I have towards myself and certain emotions in like high vibe frequency. And no, we're not here to feel bad emotions. It's not good for your nervous system either. Because what regulates your nervous system is truth. Truth is the language of your nervous system. And in the moment you're denying an aspect of your emotional world, what you're doing is you're lying to yourself. You're pretending that a certain part of you is not present. You're detached from reality. Or even worse, you're gaslighting yourself. You're saying, no, it's not so bad. No, I'm in a good mood. I'm high vibe. It's like there's nothing wrong with living a life in happiness, and there's also an aspect of, can you allow the joy in, and I'm all here for that. But it can be harmful. And what your nervous system needs is presence, is safety, is your ability to be with these feelings. is your ability to be compassionate towards yourself. And that, to me, like, if we're speaking of, like, I don't like the term ego personally. Like, it's such an overused term. I don't, and it has so many different meanings, psychologically, spiritually. It just gets thrown around in all of the different, in all of the different categories of psychospiritual growth. I don't really use it personally because I think it is a part of you that wants witnessing, or it's a group of parts that needs witnessing. And then the question is, who is witnessing the ego? Who is witnessing the part that even wants to get rid of your ego, that wants to get rid of the quote-unquote lowly emotions? What is on the other side of the ego? In internal family systems and also in various other traditions, it's called the self. The self is like the light bulb of witnessing presence that is shining onto everything that you're experiencing. And I'm inviting you to get closer to that. If there's one thing that I want you to get from this video, then it is that the most spiritual thing you can do is to allow all the things that you are repressing within you, that you hate about you, that you hate about other people in, and do the honest shadow work. Do the honest shadow work. And that always starts with noticing, allowing, and feeling it through. And this is what I'm here for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about emotional release, if you want to learn more about the body and how the body-mind connection works. Leave a like and leave a comment if something in this resonated with you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.